We're live. If you want to do a Idle Freak intro.
All right. What's going on, guys?
Hey guys, what's up? We are. I have Idle Freak here with me today, and we're going to be going over future plans for the Idle Freak, production team, and also a quick announcement in regards to a new project that we're going to be working on. So to kind of jump right into things, the game that we're announcing, we're prepared to announce is Fantasy Field Offline Episode 1. The direction of this game is that it will be for real fans of games. And so this is for people who are not only into gaming, but are also into the culture of gaming. So we're going to have a lot of in-person events, clothing swaps, and cosplay meetups. Just to get that buzz going. You wanted to jump in?
Yeah, so as he mentioned, it's an offline game, so we've decided to kind of just take out online. I don't really know how to get into. I mean, why did we want to take out online? I guess we'll start with that.
Yeah, the main reason that we're going with an offline approach is that the feeling that we want from the game is, like I said, for the real old heads. So for people who are wanting to play locally, there's not a lot of options out there. Another reason why we didn't want to take it online is simply the scope of the project. If we were to take it online, not only would we have to have a way to either have dedicated servers or some sort of peer-to-peer netcode, it's going to be too much work.
Right.
And so that's why we decided to go that direction.
Yeah.
As far as the coding of the game, Johnny has been the lead on that. I'm doing more of the optics. How's the code going?
Code's actually going really good. We got the inventory system. Right now we're working on AI for the enemies, and what that's going to lead into is the combat system, and I think we're going to touch a little bit on that today. How the combat system is going to work, how you interact with enemies, and I think that's going to kind of rope us into our first little chapter here, and that is how can we relate this game to real life?
Yep. And I'm excited to jump in on that. So there's a lot of different lines that you can draw in regard to Fantasy Field offline. And one of the first parallels that you'll find is commitment. A lot of the relationships, whether they're personal or business, in many people's lives entirely hinge upon commitment. And so the approach that we're taking with this game in regards to commitment is that when you log in with a party, we want you to feel like you're a member of that party and that the rewards are not for an individual. So the idea of pooling currency to make runs more valuable, open and connected loot sharing, where it's personalized, but just a button away from giving to somebody else. Another analogy for real life, I guess you could take it, is the concept of hard work. This is the type of game where there's no cheating, there's no bypassing it. The items are the items, they generate how they generate, and you're at their mercy. So the more items that you generate, the math should always check out that you'll be getting better pieces. Hard work will pay off there.
I like that. What I want to kind of get into next here is maybe a little bit of a Q&A panel. So we tweeted out to our fans over on our Idle Freak channel asking for you guys to submit questions.
And we actually just got one that came through. The first question goes to our head coder, which would be you, our lead dev, and they are curious about how the controller port is working. How are things working with the controllers? So we're gonna bench that question. This next question is coming through from a Trevor. Trevor asks, Is there any inspirations for the theming or the music direction that you're taking for the games? I'm gonna take this one. As far as the way the roles have been divided, John the Idle Freak is handling most of the development, whereas I'm handling most of the bigger picture, bigger picture, just sort of like a bigger picture of audio, video, and yeah. And so the direction, as far as inspiration, there is no comparison. I've tried to look for things that inspire me, they don't exist. There's really nothing out there that comes close to the vision that I have in my mind for this game for these fans. And so it's uncompromising. There's no way to compare. I guess the closest comparison would be if you were to take 2001: A Space Odyssey and mix that with Pikmin. That would probably be the closest theme, and add a little dash of Rogue Legacy 2 in there, and you're probably gonna have a reasonable big picture suit.
Okay. Just scrolling through these comments here.
Yeah.
What is something you can never seem to finish? This one comes from one of our fans in Paraguay.
What is something you can never seem to finish?
Yeah.
Going off of the Idle Freak track record, it would be games. Yeah, I think that's why they're asking that. We're gonna give them a response. We're gonna say, well, my veggies, and then they're gonna say, yeah, well, the correct answer is games.
Yeah.
There has yet to be a successful release, but we are working on that. That is coming.
So Fantasy Fields, right? How can we make this a global video game company, I guess?
How can we go global? That's genuinely such a good question.
What can we do to go global? What can we do to start putting ourselves out there?
Yeah. I think the first step is to identify yourself as a brand and identify what the core tenets of that brand are. So for us, I view us as an aggressively expanding, young and smart development company. And so when I think about the direction of the company and the keywords that would describe our morals, our values, our attitudes, it would be swift, slick, smart. And that's a triple S. That is alliteration. Yeah. That's going to be a triple S. Yeah. What was the question?
What was the question you're asking? So some of the fans are asking, is there going to be controller input?
Yes, that is the primary way that we view it as being played, because this is intended as being all local multiplayer.
Couch play, sort of.
Couch play.
If you want to call it that.
If you want to call it that, then yeah, the controller.
What's stopping you?
Any roadblocks? Any stoppers?
What's stopping
Right now,
you?
the big roadblock is, and this has been the same roadblock for every project we've done, is the support. We don't feel like we're getting enough support from the fans.
Okay. Yeah, no support. We need more comments
We're gonna need a lot more comments. We have a design document that we're not willing to share at this time, just because it's internal only. It's something that we don't want to allow to get out into the wrong hands. Maybe as a Patreon benefit, we can release that design doc earlier. But rest assured, this is a focused experience, and this is something that you guys are gonna want to keep an eye on.
Okay.
It looks like we have one more question. Could you read that out?
Will the game be ported to console?
I mean, it could be easily done because it's on Unity, but there's no plans at this time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about on your end? Are you seeing any
last minute questions? Yeah, people have been wondering about my. I'm getting a call here. People have been wondering about my absence from GearCon. They've been wondering why I wasn't at the GearCon in Newark, New Jersey. The honest answer is that it just wasn't in the budget. I had to make a decision between travel fees and cosplay fees. And if I'm going to be buying all the wheels and the gears and the different authentic leather straps that I need, I'm not gonna be able to pay for the rising cost of gas. And so that is not why I was at GearCon. That's just a quick side thing, not related to Fantasy Field Offline episode 1.
Okay. Is there gonna be a convention for this? Are we gonna be doing a live Q&A?
FFOCon,
Yeah.
more to come on that. We're gonna have to hash out the details on that. I haven't booked any venues or talked to anybody, talked to any vendors, gotten any sponsorships, any partnerships, so we're gonna have to hold off on that, but with the rising interest in Fantasy Field, I don't see that being not possible. I don't see that as being impossible, so we're gonna get working on that.
Okay. Okay. And then, oh wait, 1 second. Okay, so it looks, well, I don't know, this question is kind of like a 50-50. I don't know if I should read it out or not.
Go ahead, read it.
Someone was wondering if there's gonna be a sequel coming out, like I don't know, maybe Fantasy Fields Online.
Episode 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is episode 2 is slated and scheduled, and we will be working on that. It's actually a super good question. There's honestly been more work done on 2 than 1, because so much of the work is conceptual that I've sort of buried myself in the lore of 2, because the lore of 1 was so foundational. It's hard not to get into that.
I can see that.
To that sequel world. There's going to be a lot of characters introduced in 1, but more importantly, they are going to get ironed out in 2.
I like.
And so I think we're good there.
Yeah. I think we're good. I'm gonna.